virtual edu networking community that is from around the globe. And I am so excited today. I have one of our members, Patrice Porter, who's going to share with us what she is so passionate about and purposeful about. And you might find it incredibly intriguing. So here we go. I'd like to introduce Patrice Porter. She is a mother, grandmother, and avid gardener. She's a certified educational associate with over 15 years working with young children in a play and exploration program that she absolutely loved. And she works with children through her Got Dirt Gardening for Kids program and her Fabulous Family Futures program that serves entrepreneurial parents and those parents who have had an issue and a challenge with their kids since COVID. And she helps those working from home to stop sacrificing their time spent with their kids for working and supporting parents to show up as their best self for their family and their business. She has written 3 full book series it's called Bringing Out the Potential of Children. And she's co-authored a #1 best-selling book called No Problem Parenting: How to Raise Your Kiddos with Confidence and Less Fear. Oh my goodness, Patrice, I'm so excited about this interview because what you stand for is so significant and important in our world right now. I mean, we really want to serve our families at a higher level. What I'm curious about, how did you really come to this position of being so passionate and purposeful about supporting our youth?
Well, that started off working with kids like for that 15 years, and I really saw it as a privilege to have those kids under my care. And when I could see the potential in the kids and nurture it, and like when you have somebody believe in you, how it lets you, and if you believe in the kids and nurture that potential, then they can blossom. And it just warms my heart to see them, blossoming and moving towards having bright futures. And it was the play and exploration program where we were able to open new worlds to kids. And being that I'm very passionate about gardening and growing my own food and all that, and I loved opening the world of gardening to kids. And with my book series, like that was about bringing out potential. And one of the volumes is on gardeners, having kids as gardeners. But, I love that medium for sharing your knowledge and expertise and everything. But then I moved more into like course creation with the Got Dirt Gardening for Kids as a better medium. And that I built that for the kids to give them that ability to grow their own food and connecting with nature. The big thing was like getting them out of cyberspace and getting them away from the screens. I mean, it was this.
Well, it's so true, and there's so many kids that are lost in cyberspace. They think that that's the only place to be, and I love what you stand for because it can inspire families to change the trajectory of their family connection, right? I mean,
Yeah.
to get kids off the iPhone, the iPad, the internet, to just reconnect with what's real and what's important and to watch things grow. So tell us about your Got Dirt program.
Okay,
do you do it on Zoom? Do you do it in person? I know, and tell us where you live because that's really interesting too.
Well, I live right in the boreal forest of Saskatchewan, Canada, and I have a very strong connection to place. In this place I call home. a great love of nature, and I love to instill that in the children too. And gardening is one way that you can do that. And so when I built the Got Dirt Gardening for Kids program, I built it for the kids to consume, because sometimes, like, the parents, they just don't have an interest in gardening, and or they're too busy, and so I wanted this for the kids to consume, and it is virtual. It's with videos and what I call instructographics, but it's um, guides, and the live meetups with the gardening grandma. I am the gardening grandma, and I being that person, if you don't have someone in your life to show you how to garden and grow your own food, I'll be that person. So that's where
tell
that
me
came
about
from.
the structure of the program. Like what does it look like? Just so anybody who is watching right now, that some kids are interested in things that the parents aren't. Exactly what you said. So
Yeah.
what would it look like for, let's say, my daughter to participate in that? What would be the timing, the structure, that type of thing?
Well, it's 5 modules, and each module will have what I call the instructor graphics, but it's like a comic style instructor graphics, because kids like that comic stuff, and it's easy to understand and guide them through. It's like a step-by-step process through the 5 modules, and getting them to be able to grow their own food, bringing Mother Nature on your side, like connecting with nature, bringing Mother Nature and her superheroes on your side, and learning what it is to be part of the growing process. And that's, I do videos, as I said, it's a step-by-step, taking you all the way to picking your garden site to bringing in the harvest.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Now, so what would be the age range of the youth that would participate in the Got Dirt program?
Well, that one is, if the kids want to do it themselves, then it would be, I would say, probably 7 years old and up. And then but I always encourage, like, for the parents to garden with their kids, do it with their kids, or do that program with their kids, because it can be such a great bonding experience. And
Sure.
you'd be surprised at some of the conversations that can be had when you're out there tending your little piece of dirt, and it can lead to bigger conversations about the environment, and how we can care for the earth, the whole earth, instead of our little plot of earth. And so that carries over more with my Fabulous Family Futures program. I also incorporate the gardening in there, and that one there, and like, it's incorporating the gardening there, or nature-based family projects. And that program, that's more for like supporting the parents to show up as their best self, and creating a vision for the family, like how you'd like your family to be, but having, like, the kids involved in this process, so they can see what possibilities there are, like, and then so pulling the families together in a loving and supportive way, and starting that family nature-based project, again, getting them out of cyberspace and back into the natural world, and supporting the families, like, with they create their vision, and there's a goal in there, and it's built so in a way that they do the shifting and shaving, so and fitting into your lifestyle so that it's not like I don't want to be a project that, oh, one more thing to add to our plate. I want it to be where you're showing up as your best self and you're living how you want to be and being those role models
Yes.
for your kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to limit it, the nature-based family projects to just gardening, but I really encourage them to get the kids gardening just because it fosters like independence and responsibility and like there's so many life lessons that are also learned in there. And then also like the parents, if you're sharing time with the kids in the garden, that it can just alleviate the stress and anxiety that you're feeling. And
Well, you know what it
as
makes
I
me
say,
think
it's
of?
bonding.
Yeah, you know what it makes me think of is very similar to our Grand Connection community. You're supporting families to come together to connect, create opportunities for conversation, for deep, meaningful connection,
Yeah,
and collaborate together. I mean, it's so in alignment with what we're doing here too, right?
yeah,
I love it. I think that families are open to doing things differently since the pandemic has arrived. And I also think people are more open minded and realize the significance of being close to your family too. So
yeah,
I love what you bring. I love your passion for realizing the bigger picture here of creating a vision as your family. I mean, it's the same as what we do in business, but it's for your family. Like,
yeah,
wow,
yeah,
that's so good.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
tell me
And that,
about your 3-book series that you've written. I mean, these are full books, people, called Bringing Out the Potential in Children. Tell me about that
okay,
series. Yeah.
yeah, it's a book series with 3 full book volumes, just not 3 full book series.
Right.
It's one series with 3 full book volumes.
Okay.
And the first volume was on bringing out the potential of children, writers, authors,
Mm.
because I love the the children to be able to write, and it fosters them to be better understood if they can write and express themselves, and also having that command of language that you can start to better understand too, be better understood and better understand. And so that's the first in the volume, and the second is bringing out the potential of children gardeners, of course.
Of course. I knew that had to be in there, Patrice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what's the third one?
And the third is bringing out the potential of children's cooks and chefs. And that's is where I brought in an executive chef and use her knowledge for how kids can, start to learn to cook and preparing their own food, and how it leads. And we incorporate, of course, like growing your own food while you're going. That's the best place to get the best ingredients. And
Yeah. Well, you know what?
and
I wish I had that book. I wish I had that book. Neither of my
yeah,
children, who are now 22 and 25, know how to cook. So I go visit them at the cities that they are, and I cook the whole time I'm there and freeze all this healthy food. Patrice, I wish I had that book when my kids were little because, I mean, it's the same as gardening. It's a creative,
yes,
you're starting here and going, I mean, oh, just good on you. I
like
mean,
even
what a
even that
contribution.
even
It's
in
so
that
good.
Fabulous Futures family program, I always say, like, make it a nature-based program, but also like um getting the kids involved with the cooking and preparing of your food. And like one of the examples of one of the uh, parents that I bought into that program, and she, I don't know if you want me to explain like how
Yes, I
she
do.
came to me.
So, yeah, I do.
Okay.
That would be wonderful.
Okay. So I had been interviewed for the Women's Leadership Mindset series, and she had seen me on that, and she messaged me, and it was a woman that I had her kids, worked with her kids in the Play and Exploration program, and so she knew me, I knew her kids, and so she messaged me, and she said, "I know you. I trust you. I know you're good with kids. And if you've got some sort of plan, I want to hear about it because I'm losing my kids to the internet."
Yes.
And her kids were just turning to that teenage years,
Yep.
which you've got grown kids. That can be a very difficult period. And the kids are starting, that's the time when they start to pull away from families, that their friends become very important.
Agreed.
And that's a stage where like a lot of the youth are getting hooked on their devices, and sometimes in not so healthy ways. So I had a long conversation with her and just seeing if if I could serve her and if it was a right fit and everything. And the first thing I wanted to do is give her an alternative, for the kids to being on the internet. So we bought her out, being that I live right in the forest there, and I have huge gardens all around my place and everything. And we made arrangements so that she would help me with some of my chores and everything, and then I would help her, and with a conscious decision, because this helps the kids, to be a part of this, like they're helping me,
Yeah.
and that's good for the intergenerational thing, and
Agreed.
show them, that they're valued, they can contribute, and a little bit of responsibility in that. And so we went exploring and foraging in the forest, and then helping, in the garden and doing some chores. And they got to take I had lots of extra goodies, and she had the families helping out in the gardens. And then this is where it was leading in. She had the kids helping to put up, the all that produce from the garden, and they're canning and processing it. And
Wow.
when the kids can start to be like contributing members to the family food supply through the gardening, if they're growing the food and bringing in the harvest, they're contributing members now.
Yeah.
And it does wonders for their confidence, and teaches them wonderful skills.
Yeah.
And
Well, I think
and
that the value too is getting them to see the process too, right? Getting them to experience the process, and you could enlighten young people that this could be their purpose and passion for their life just by participating in that process of what you went through.
yes.
That's brilliant. Now, tell me about your offer today for people.
Well,
What
if they would like to join me for an unearthing potential session, and then we can go through a little bit, like just see what you're at. If you don't have family or kids, hey, I love for everyone to be growing to their greatest potential. I mean, I like that's something I work within myself, and I love to see everybody growing that way. And let's see what we can bring into the awareness, what possibilities there may be.
Well, I love it. And, I mean, I think that as an entrepreneur, you are very passionate about what you stand for. You have amazing credibility and experience. And also, you have this beautiful energy that is so safe and comfortable to be around. I'm experiencing that in this interview, and I know the youth and the parents would be able to receive that guidance so easily. And, it really, to me, about businesses that are around the world, it's about really stepping up and showing up and serving from our highest self. And you truly are, Patrice. It has been an honor to interview you. And I have included all the links below here to connect with Patrice, either on Facebook, on LinkedIn, or a direct link to book a chat with Patrice.
Yes.
Feel free. I mean,
There's some potential.
yeah. Well, the truth is, I just want to bring this back here. Is first, I love when you meet with these families and create the vision. So we have to see it first. And then we have to
Yes.
believe the transformation within our family and then nurture that. And I think in order for them to reach their potential as a family or individually or with their kids, that you can be a great support system for that, Patrice. So I thank you for being a member of the Grand Connection. It was just a pleasure and an honor and a joy to interview you today. So people, if you're intrigued in any way, please reach out to Patrice on any of the platforms below. And we look forward to hearing about your transformational experience. So thank you, Patrice, and I wish you much, much success.
And thanks, Carolyn, and thanks for what you're doing here with bringing all the people together with the Grand Connection. It really is a wonderful experience too, and enable people like myself to bring our message out there.
Yeah. And to reach businesses around the world. I mean, we have 35 countries with the Grand Connection of people that come to our events. So, it is about a virtual connection, is as much a heartfelt connection and serving and supporting and collaborating as it is in person. So we welcome everybody to the Grand Connection as well. So we look forward to meeting you. I should put in some links here for us, shouldn't I? Join us at the Grand Connection. You can attend 2 meetings for free, and it's grandconnection.ca. Thank you.
Right.
See you at the next event.
Carolyn.